Welcome to Meet the Biz. Today, we have someone who I used to watch on TV all the time, on Laugh-In, Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. I love the movie with George Burns, Oh God. Of course, Kids Incorporated. We have Moosie Drier. Hey, Moosie.
Gosh, is it weird that some of the things you just mentioned are even before my time? Even though
I love that. Right? We weren't born at that time, were we?
No. How to be? There's so many Moosies. Had to be somebody else.
It had to be. It had to be. Thank you for joining us again. I mean, you came to the studio, the Performing Arts Studio West, and the students loved that day to have you and Aaron there.
They're amazing. Shannon and Kaylee and everybody else. I just love so much. Good people who are serious about acting, who listen, who taking direction. And we had so much fun that day. I loved that day. I really, really did. That was outstanding. I love what you do, David.
Well, thank you. This is extended family to me. And being at Performing Arts Studio West, being at Meet the Biz, it has created, it's helping me breathe, especially at this time, because I'm such a people person.
Yeah. You do really, really well when you're there. From what I saw, just even that day, you're a great communicator.
Thank you.
Shy is not part of your description. I wouldn't.
Well, that's so interesting because inside I feel shy, or at least I used to. My younger self was, but for some reason I had to do that,
Yeah.
But you have a class today or you're gonna tell us about acting, directing, creating.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what I have to say.
I can't either. So I'm gonna back off and let you do your thing, and I'll come join you after.
Okay. Well, you're not going anywhere, right?
No. I'm gonna be sitting here listening and participating and taking it all in. So there we go. Moosie.
Hello, everyone. Hello, you fine folks. You're staying healthy and somehow active during this time, and creative, which is important. I think this is a great time to check in with ourselves and tap into our creativity, and really, really zone in on your craft, because one difficult part about acting, or most any profession, is to be able to filter out distractions. And there's less to be distracted about right now. So what a great time it is for you all to, focus on your acting craft. All right, well, one of the first things I'll talk about is, so when you're acting, your preparation is so essential. It's so important. What you put into it, it'll come back to you in a reward tenfold. So in preparing a scene, for instance, you want to go into it so well prepared, your lines so well, that you avoid spending any moment wondering what my next line is. Because if you're in that moment, you're not in your character's moment. And it's really transparent. People could see right through that. And as soon as they see that, we're taken out of the scene. So prepare. And if you're prepared so well that you're not worried about your lines, you can do what's extremely important, and that is listening. Listen to your other actors on stage. Listen as if you're hearing what they're saying for the first time, so you can organically react. Although you have heard what they've said, you know, you've prepared. But acting is as if this is really happening. So when your other actors are delivering dialogue, you're reacting carefully so as to not, in most cases, you don't want to steal focus from your other actors because they're delivering the writer's information that drives the story. But, you know, some of the best moments of an actor's scene is when they're not talking, because they're there in the moment, they're listening. You don't realize, well, you know, you might think, well, I'm not talking, I'm not giving the dialogue right now, so I'm 20% of this scene. Nope, you're 50%. You know, if it's a one-on-one, if it's a two-person scene. So listening and reacting organically as if you've never heard this spoken before is so key to the believability factor. I remind this every time I've directed, whether it be with a camera or on stage in theater, I remind actors this all the time, although most likely they already know that, but it's really essential to remind artists of the basics, because it is easy to be distracted and to be in your head about something else and not in the moment. So it's something you should always remind yourself, and I think directors should always remind the actors to listen. If you're really listening, you'll never go wrong. You can't go wrong. You're in the scene. Even if, I know it's tricky, because even if, let's say in the story, your character is acting like they're not listening, you're listening. You're an actor. You're multitasking in that case. So here's another thing, and I think that this applies more so in theater, in a play, as opposed to, you know, in front of a camera. With a camera, you can just go back and redo things all the time, but in live theater, so if you're on stage and for whatever reason, regardless of, this happens to the best actors in the world, regardless of how much work they put into it, you can forget your line. But if that ever happens, you have a tool that you carry with you at all times. And that is, you have forgotten your line, react or say something that your character would say. So you're not breaking character. You never break character. The audience has no idea. They haven't memorized the play. Say something that your character would say or how your character would react. Therefore, your other actors on stage. Now, to think that all actors on stage will forget where they are in the scene at the same time, those chances are slim, and that's rare. What that does is when you trust your other actors and you forget a line and you react the way your character would, it tells the other actors you're a little lost. They will pick you up and they will put you right back where you need to be in the scene. And you never broke character. You never signaled to an audience that you're lost. And knowing that, you need to prepare enough to be that actor to pick somebody else up when they forget their lines. Don't overthink it and don't panic. Just be your character. And that tool will allow you to relax at all times. You know, and if you're not uptight and you're relaxed and you're confident, and you have leverage on what you're doing, you'll do your best work. You know, acting can feel like work because it is. But the more you prepare in making your choices and memorizing yours and everybody else's lines, the more likely the scene's gonna work. And when the scene really works, it's nothing but fun. And you forget that it's work. So your objective is to make what you're doing fun. Take the work, do the work, but don't allow it to feel like work. Because I promise you, there's nothing more satisfying and more fun than your character contributing to a story and it works and the audience accepts you and they love it and the writer and the director and everybody else involved is on board because it's working. That's fun. So therefore, take the work out of it. So how you prepare in acting. Acting primarily is making choices, right? So in rehearsals or any part of your process in getting ready, this is so important. Never be afraid to fail in that process. It's essential to finding the place you need to be. It's like, this is an odd analogy, but when making your choices, how I'm going to say it this way, or maybe my character would feel this way, and my voice would come off. When you're making all these little choices, it's like trying on clothes. You're not going to go in. How often is it you go, you shop for clothes, you put something on, there it is, perfect, go, and you walk out. You have to try things on and see. You have to see how the dialogue sounds with your new choice. Most cases, more times than not, it's not going to work. But that's how you find what does work. So therefore, you need to accept ahead of time, you're going to fail. Fail's the wrong word. But people get so self-conscious. They don't want to fail in front of other actors or the director or anyone else involved in the production. It's part of it. You need to make sure that's not going to work before you know, oh, see, that works. So what else? So, auditioning. Let me just make an adjustment here. So, well, auditioning is its own beast. It's frightening. And no matter what you do and how great you can be in an audition, there's times where you're not going to get the job because they already cast the parents and you look nothing like them. Therefore, you didn't get the job in any way that should make you take it personally. So keep that in mind. So now, when I was an actor many years ago, I auditioned quite a bit, of course. And I did a fair amount of work at all that, great. But all the auditions, this is one of those if I knew then what I know now kind of situations. I may have worked more, but more importantly to me, I may have gotten that one job I really wanted, or that part. I just, my heart was in it, whatever. So sitting on this side of the auditions, we look for an actor who will bring in their own choices. So the writer has done their work, and an actor makes choices and takes chances. 80% of the auditioners will play it safe. And those 80%, it'll look like the same scene. You close your eyes, you feel like it's the same actor. They're playing it safe. If you take some chances and show some fearlessness and contribute to the storytelling, then what it tells she or he, whoever the director is, what it tells them is that you're not afraid to think outside of the box. We can go that way with this actor, and they stand out because they're not part of the 80% who are doing it the same way, the safe way. And so in auditions, this happens a lot. A director will give you direction. You say, that was fantastic. Let's try it again. Can you do this, that, and the other, right? It's imperative to show that you can take direction. So whoever that director is, and if they're asking you to do something or make choices that you don't personally agree with, you should take the direction anyway. Because in so many cases, they're seeing if you can take direction. And whatever they're telling you on the spot in the casting office may not even be applied at all in the movie or on TV or in the theater. It may not even be a choice that they will ever make. They just want to see that you have more than one way of doing it in you. So that when we get to the set or we get to the stage, you're open-minded to being able to take this direction. And that I look back and one day I realized while I was we were auditioning actors, this was for a play. I realized I started naming auditions I remembered in my head back from when I was an actor that I bet they were testing me to see if I could take that direction. Because that's not the way, those choices never made it into whatever the show was. They were just seeing if I were to actually go, yep, let's try this again, and apply, like actually apply the direction. So that's your auditioning tip. And as far as anything else, as far as auditioning besides preparing and what I just said, there are a lot of talented people here. So you may be one of those talented people reading for that role. So now what do we look for? We look for somebody who's just going to be lovely to work with and respectful and kind and not complain or cause problems. That's just the truth. Just good, hearted people who aren't afraid to ask questions, but you're not like, holding up, you're not the kind of person that would hold up production because you're stubborn and it's hard to get things out of whatever. Be good to work with. That's very logical. Be a good person. Be a joy. All right. So I'm acting right now. I'm acting like I'm wearing shoes. I'm not so much. I'm acting like I don't need a haircut. And because I can't get one right now.
Right.
And so what else, David? We were possibly gonna do a little Q&A or not?
I love that. I loved what you were saying about all that. It helps me, even for any actor who has been, working it. Sometimes we forget, and then we have to realize, I mean, we're bringing it in. They're seeing and wanting us to succeed. The director, the producer. For you, what do you enjoy more, acting or directing?
Oh,
directing.
But here's the thing. Many times I miss acting, but not really that much, because when I'm directing, I'm in there with my gloves on, working the same process the actors are. Mm-hmm. So I never wanted to step away from the process. I just wanted to play a different role in the process. I don't need my face to be, I don't need to be recognized or whatever. Some actors go into it for the wrong reasons, I believe. I like the work, the art of it, the process. Like, that's really interesting to me. And from when I was really young, I used to kind of I used to follow directors around,
So that's where you learned. You started learning.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of time on sets where you're just kind of doing nothing.
Yeah.
So I remember being so interested in what the director was doing. And everybody, I mean, it's a big working machine. There's like, script supervisors and props and lighting and sound and the camera crew, all that stuff. That all interests me so much. And I, and I worked enough to really, as an actor, I kind of got my fill, but now I really wanted to feed my interest. So I think I love directing more, but I mean, I love the art of actor. I love all you actors. I think it's just it's a very truthful, if you could be true to your character, it's a very truthful, even though we're pretending to be somebody we're not.
Right.
you can almost call, well, we're professionally lying, I suppose. But really, you're storytelling to tell the truth in the end. The bigger picture is the truth. So,
right. It did, seriously, the truth is powerful.
yeah,
And we see that in real life too.
yeah.
You know, real life. Well, you know, I used to take from Corey Allen, and he says, what is real, what is not? You know, because acting sort of intermerges. If that's, is that a word, intermerge?
But I know, yeah,
uh,
maybe, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's right, I believe. Yeah.
right, right. Well, now, how old were you when you started acting?
I was 5. I think I was 4. But
Wow.
my first gig was, I think, 5. I was 5.
Do you remember enjoying it?
Oh, listen, I pretty much enjoyed every minute of acting. It's not like I had a bad experience and didn't want to be an actor again. I just found something else I'd rather be doing. But and I still act. I still do voiceover work. You know, like I just don't do on-camera acting. I've been doing that throughout this entire time, all the years. I still do, you know, voice work. You know, Shrek, Madagascar, and those kind of things.
Yeah.
And newer ones. But wait, what we were just, I just lost my train of thought.
Oh, acting at age 4, voiceover work.
Yeah. So you know, I started when I was 4 or 5, and my first real acting job, I did a couple commercials, not that those aren't real acting jobs, but my first theatrical acting job was to play Jack Lemmon's son in a movie called The War Between Men and Women. Jason Robards, Barbara Harris, Jack Lemmon, and
what a group of actors.
Oh, absolutely. And no one in your class remembers any of them, maybe, because they're not dinosaurs like myself.
Well, oh my God. Well, they're thinking lemon, lime, you know, Jack Lemmon.
No, but these were classically trained actors as well, of their time. But so my first experience of acting was, yeah, we shot for, you know, a couple weeks in New York. We shot on Catalina Island out here in California. We shot, I believe that was Universal. We shot on a sound stage where there's just all the food you want, you know, people just taking care of you and all that stuff. I'm like, all right, this is acting, okay. And then went on to do, I guess, Laugh-In and the Bob Newhart Show and other stuff. And then I acted as an adult as well. See, by that time, I'm like, okay, I get it, acting. What, you know.
Like you said, you transitioned to directing, and you love doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you stage? Do you like directing stage or screen or TV more?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, they both have these great attributes. So you know, with the camera, you can do so many things technically, and so you can make things just look so much more beautiful, and you can bring the story out in anywhere in the world. On the other hand, theater, I love the excitement of, you know, walking on a tightrope with without a net, you know, and that excitement, and knowing that we've poured everything we can into it. Now the audience has come in, and here it goes, and just holding on, you know, and hoping that, you know, everything is, you know, going to work out. And then when it does, it is so instantly rewarding. And for me, it's not for me, my reward is seeing the cast evolve from the first day of rehearsal until the curtain call of the, you know, of the opening night, and just seeing how far everyone's come, how happy they are now that we have our show, one show at least under their belt. Yeah. that high they ride afterwards. You know, I get texts from actors after a show, they're like, I can't sleep, because they can't stop thinking about it. And that's the reward. That's the fun I was talking about that comes from putting all that work into it, because it worked. If it worked, it's it's an accomplishment. It's a blast.
Well, I love that you brought that up, that word, fun, because I used to, when I was doing a lot of stage several years ago, I would sometimes get a little too nervous, or I would think about the nerves, but then I was going, wait a minute, you're thinking about this rather than where you are and who you are. And then I said, David, have fun. And then I go on stage, and it's exactly, and I'm so glad. I mean, this is the fun class with learning how to have fun with Moosie Drier.
Well, I gotta say, it's true. I'm sure I'm not the only one who says that, but it's true. Have fun out there, because if you're not, then you're carrying a heavy backpack on you the entire time. Go out there, but if you're having fun, you're happy, you're loose, you're able to move laterally and make adjustments right there on the fly, because your mind is clear. You're in the right place. So it's so important. And people just sit back and watch you. Your audience will know where you're at.
Yeah.
If you're not really there, or if it looks like a labor to you, but your character's not supposed to look like they're labored, it's really transparent, and we can see right through that.
Wow. Thank you for coming here today and feeding us with knowledge.
Well, I'm passing it on, and you're so welcome. Thanks for having me.
Well,
are we going to make a delivery to my house with like toilet paper? All the others? I'll text you a list.
I have a roll and a half left.
Okay, to family members, and eventually I'm going to be like, oh wow, better. I was at the market earlier. I hadn't left in 3 days, but I was at the market earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, empty shelves.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, just we got to keep going, and we'll get through the other side, right?
Be smart about what we're all doing and keep your spirits up. Yeah, we'll get to the other side.
Yeah. Well, thank you, and send my love to your family.
I will. Thank you, David. I'll hopefully talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. I hope to see you soon, like in person. Let's do this again. That'll be fun.
We will. We will. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Bye now.